everyone, myself Manju Narang. Today we are going to discuss one of the topic non-equilibrium stationary state may be defined stationary state that are system that are stationary state non-equilibrium state when we are discussing the system they are then rarely subjected to the mathematical analysis and they are situation and practical important. Then stationary state. A system is said to be in its stationary state if its microscopic properties such as temperature, pressure, composition, and entropy do not change with time spent to, to the possible occurrence of irreversible process. So, stationary state and also of the microscopic properties of the those intensive ones those unchanged with time will general still vary from point to point. So all these intensive properties that do not change with time but for a given system they may vary from point to point. So this will understand by one example. The host example stationary state is that suppose we have a rod. This rod is heated in one end at constant temperature and other and the heated is removed at constant temperature. Okay, so from one end we are supplying certain amount of heat and at the same rate of the heat from other state of from one other side of rod it is taken out. So when C then V from one side given from the heat and one from other side we are removing the heat so that net net heat flow or the temperature at each point on this particular rod will approach a time independent value. So as along this road the temperature at different points may be different but all along this the temperature will be independent of time and hence this particular system is under stationary state or stationary non-equilibrium state. Similarly, one more example. Suppose we are considering again a road. Certain amount of potential is applied this road. So V1 is potential, V2 is the potential because V is potential difference. That will be flow of electrical current. Now this road suppose if considering that this road again is in constant with heat reservoir. So as we may say that heat sink. So whatever heat that will be generated through of the length of the road if will be taken away by the heat sink or and heat reservoir that we have taken at constant temperature T. So here the rate of which the heat flow of out of element into the reservoir in equal to amount of the electrical work done. More will be the amount of electrical work done, more will be the amount of heat, the rate of flow, and all the properties of this road. Like we have that internal energy, entropy, so all this property along this road for this particular process. It means constant with respect to time, although there is irreversible process taking place, but there is irreversible heat generation taking place. But as these properties take temperature, entropy, internal energy constant with respect to time. So this whole system and whole process is known as equilibrium stationary state. Now this stationary state there are further divided into two categories. First is equilibrium stationary state, second one's non-equilibrium stationary state. So basically more interested non-equilibrium stationary state. We'll see the basic difference equilibrium stationary state and non-equilibrium stationary state. So equilibrium stationary state it is attained when the system is the under equilibrium. So we know that all the system which are reversible system they are under equilibrium or the system under is the rate forward reaction is equal to reverse reaction that will show equilibrium stationary state and non-equilibrium stationary state. The system or the stationary state are attained by system not in equilibrium. So or here a system which are not in equilibrium. So all system which are not in equilibrium. So basically all our irreversible process they are not equilibrium and hence all those systems will show or will bear one non-equilibrium state. Second, or here equilibrium. In case of equilibrium stationary state, the value of intensive property in not only remain constant with time but it has some same value throughout the system. So in case of equilibrium stationary state, the value intensive property that behave like temperature, pressure, composition, all these intensive properties not only remain constant. Second, where is in case of non-equilibrium stationary state we have seen that the value of intensive property they are constant but the value may vary from point to point. One more different equilibrium stationary state they can be attained only in isolated systems. So only in isolated system. In case of equilibrium stationary state it can be attained in open system also. So there is no restriction on the types of system with we are looking at. So non-equilibrium stationary state can be attained open system and could be attained closed system. Thank you everyone.